Salut tout le monde. Bon, du coup, on se retrouve pour la suite. Du coup, ouais, bah j'avais fait exprès, comme ça on peut voir le compte rendu de la première partie de l'enquête. Parfait. Pour ceux
Zach,
qui auraient loupé
let's
la
go
première
over our
partie.
progress. We've got a complicated case on our hands this time, especially as far as the Clarksons' relationships go. But in a way, it's also a simple one. Understanding them on a deeper level is the most efficient way to uncover the truth behind all this. That's the one thing I'm sure of. Zach, let's start with the people who were closest to the victim. Lise Clarkson, the victim, is the granddaughter of the current head of the Clarkson family. Her mother is Galena, an ex-actress, and Lise clearly inherited her beauty. Except for her eyes, that is. Lisa's eye color matches that of her father's. Now, do you remember who Lise Clarkson's father is?
Danny.
That's right. Lisa's father is Danny Clarkson. His real name is Daniel E. Clarkson. He's from Florida and used to be the CEO of a talent agency. Danny struck the heart of Galena and successfully became a member of the esteemed Clarkson family. Despite being the son-in-law, he acts like he was born a Clarkson. But he's still just the son-in-law. Next comes what happened to Lise. According to Alexis, Lise said that the man was as tall as an oak tree. I believe that's the same 10-foot-tall giant who made the fingerprints we found in the cold storage warehouse. Now, what did this man do to Lise prior to her murder? No, that's not it, Zach. Lisa's mother, Galena, is the one who always took her to the jazz bar.
Ah oui.
I don't think our giant is that much of a gentleman. Yes, that's it, Zach. The man as tall as an oak tree followed Lise around and watched her. Despite his towering stature, he must have been rather shy. Or perhaps he was merely biding his time and planned to kidnap her from the very start. If that's the case, there should have been some evidence left at the scene of the crime. Zach, we're still...
Ouais, c'est sûr.
Speaking of the scene of the crime, I did some profiling in the plantation's control room. The truth it revealed to us was nauseating and horrific.
Ça c'est sûr.
But we need to touch upon it if we wish to proceed. Isn't that right, Zach? Who actually murdered Lise Clarkson? Yes, that's right.
Ouais, sa mère.
Lisa's own mother killed her. While she was dreaming about some bizarre new world. This is by far the vilest and ugliest crime we've ever seen. The fact that Galena set up her daughter's body at an altar makes this case even more complicated. Remember, not a single sacrificial human murder has ever been proven and documented in all of American history. The real world is far more complex than what we see in films and video games. And sacrificing a human life for something else is no easy task.
Ouais. Là, il le dit comme ça, mais on a quand même découvert une salle de torture entre les Pays-Bas et la Belgique. Ils ont découvert des conteneurs, en fait, avec... il y avait 6 conteneurs, je crois. Dans 5 d'entre eux, c'était des espèces de cages, en fait, un peu comme des cellules, où, en fait, ils gardaient des êtres humains. Et dans la dernière, en fait, il y avait une chaise de dentiste. Et en fait, on accrochait une personne dessus, on la sanglait. Et il y avait des outils pour des outils pour la torturer. Donc voilà, c'est vraiment très étrange. Hein. Je sais pas pourquoi il parle de ça dans le jeu là. Et bizarrement, c'est raccord avec ce qui est en train de sortir un peu dans la presse ces derniers temps. Quoi. Donc ouais, il suffit d'aller sur Google, hein, chercher salle de torture, conteneur, torture, Pays-Bas et Belgique. Et c'est sorti là il y a quelques jours, peut-être 10 jours. Enfin bref, très étrange comme coïncidence. Bon allez, continuons.
In conclusion, Zach, through our investigation, we found one character who sticks out more than anyone else. You know exactly who I'm thinking about, don't you? We'll need to have a word with her in the near future. Who's the stylish woman we saw during the profiling? Professor R. We haven't met her yet, but she's deeply intertwined with this case. Let's wait for the skeletal gentleman to guide us to her with an oracle. Well, Zach, what do you think? Isn't the Deep South something? The people here are just as warm as the weather, and the food is to die for. Might be nice to move down here after I retire. What, still too early to talk about that? You may be right. After all, this case has only just begun.
Ouais, donc du coup, il va falloir aller voir Professeur R. Voir s'il y a des trucs annexes à faire aussi avant. Après, on verra par la suite.
Galena can't be the killer. They're making all this shit up.
If what you say is true, Daniel, how do you plan to prove it? It's nearly been a century since the Clarksons first took control of Lucari. 100 years. I always thought my legacy would live on for 300 at least.
I'm gonna find the real killer and beat the living dog shit out of him.
Yet it looks to me like times have changed. We ain't in the good old days no more. You understand me, boy?
Yes, sir. I'm right there with you, Pa. I'm gonna continue what you started, sir, and make the Clarkson family strong again. First, I need to find whoever really killed Lise and bash their fucking brains in.
I saw this coming. Ever since the day Lenny left home, the town of Lucari has been cursed. We can't stop what's happening now. It's too late. It's beyond me. No. It's beyond the minds of anyone who comes from the olden days. You understand me now, boy?
Yes, sir. Believe me, I do. I'll kill him. Just leave everything to me, Paul.
Are you serious about this?
Yes, sir. Right hand of God. Look right in my eyes. I ain't lying. I'm serious. I just need you to lend me some troops, sir. We need retribution right now. That's the job I've been given, and I intend to do it.
Well then, let me ask you one more time. Are you serious about this?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm a Clarkson, and all Clarksons have a job to do. Isn't that what we always say?
Mm-hmm. Then I'll need an arm.
What?
Yeah. What?
Well now, you want to
Pardon?
use my troops. I'm gonna need to know whether or not you're really serious about this.
Il veut qu'il se fasse bouffer un bras par le croco.
Just one arm. Slide it on through that wire there, and it'll take care of it for you.
Paul, I mean, you're joking, right?
Daniel, have I ever told you a single joke?
No, but...
If you want to become a real Clarkson, then you done got yourself a job to do.
C'est les mafieux du coin. Putain.
Wait, Paul, I get it now. You want me to stick it in and then pull it out at the last minute, right? You want to see if I got guts or not, but there's gonna be another way.
Je pense pas.
You can't be serious, sir. Hey, knock it off, you assholes! Let me go! He's just joking with me. Let me go,
Attention,
goddammit!
chérie, ça a tranché.
Oh, please, sir, don't do this! Just tell me this is a joke, please!
Ok. Ouais. Faut pas le faire chier, lui. Ouais, effectivement.
I am a Clarkson,
Mhm.
and no matter how our fortune falls, all Clarksons have a job to do. That be the law of this land.
Pourquoi? Je l'avais vu dans la rue aussi, ce gars. À un moment, je savais pas qu'il jouait du jazz. Ouais. Chapitre 1 terminé. Alors, qu'est-ce que ça dit? Bah, en S. La classe. Temps de jeu, 27 minutes. Nombre de jours passés, 2 ennemis vaincus. Partir après avoir perdu. Dans les bonus. Survie. 28, c'est quoi? Ah, précision de tir. Ah oui, le fameux piéton que j'ai percuté en skate. Capitaine Polichinelle. Ok.
York, you can hear me, right? I'll be with you soon. I'm not sad. Honestly, I can't wait. It's all I think about lately. I mean, we'll be together again. We'll get to discuss movies, food again. Everyone around here has bad taste. They don't understand things the way we do. It's a shitty world filled with shitty people. Oh, that reminds me. There are movie theaters and restaurants over there, right? As soon as I get there, let's go grab some peanut butter hamburgers and yogurt smoothies. I'm so excited, York. Please, York, don't rush me. You just need to wait a bit longer. I still have one job left to do. I need to finish it. I have to. Or else I'd never be able to face you. Just give me a little more time, okay?
Ouais, donc c'est 2019. Je pensais que c'était 2020 là, dans le présent.
So, Lisa's mother, Galena Clarkson, confessed to murdering Lise. But then immediately afterwards, she went insane. So you had no choice but to detain her. What a terribly convenient story. You were the first person to find the suspect hiding at a farm on the edge of town. And you even got her to confess to the crime, right then and there. Did anyone else get a chance to hear Galena's confession?
Only us.
How did you even find that shack in the first place?
Metaphysical fender profiling.
Meta what? Should I know this word?
Metaphysical offender profiling. The term appears 6 times in the Le Carré report and 14 times in the 2010 Greenvale report. As long as you're solving cases, the people in charge don't really care what sort of words you use. But we're different. You utilized a highly abnormal method to instantly hone in on a suspect. Then you did it again and again. And every time you used it, one term kept appearing in your files. Met Mr. Morgan. Would you mind explaining to us what this term means?
But no matter what words we used, you'd never be able to understand. You see, it doesn't pertain to this side. Come, my fairy. Stop hiding back there and give them the explanation they so desire. What? You're too shy?
Mr. Morgan? Mr. Morgan!
Come on out. Don't be afraid. You can do it. It's okay.
Is that all you have to say? Don't underestimate me, Morgan. I know you and the Clarksons share a deeper connection. Much deeper than how it appears on the surface. I need to shake him with something else that's directly connected to the Clarksons. I'm gonna jog his memory by force.
Il y a l'orage qui se lève dehors.
Those letters look very old. The postmark suggests they were sent out from Louisiana. And I suspect that dragonfly mark belongs to the Clarkson family.
So what if it does?
A stalker has been harassing Patricia Clarkson for several years now. Did you know about this?
D'accord.
Constant silent phone calls, unmarked letters. She also spotted a suspicious figure lurking near her mansion several times. And just last week, her employees spotted a strange figure lurking in the vicinity. The day someone else coincidentally used your alias and traveled to Louisiana.
That's very intriguing. Aligned symbolism.
Lise Clarkson also reported being harassed by a stalker just before she was murdered. You're aware of this, correct? Because I didn't find any mention of this in your report.
No direct connection to the case. That's what we must have thought.
The visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. Which are you?
That's enough for now. This all has nothing to do with the case. Besides, there's no evidence that proves those letters are from her. Isn't that right, my fairy?
Someone stole Lisa's body and it's been missing for the past 14 years. I find it hard to believe that it was simply hidden in that cold storage warehouse the entire A more detailed investigation carried out. Reading over it again, I can't help but notice how well, one might even call it perfect. Except some parts have been redacted in an extremely suspicious way. Why are all these places blotted out? Mr. Morgan, according to you, at the beginning of this case, the victim's body was being stored in the warehouse on purpose. Is that the truth? They really put her body there alongside food and other perishables?
It's in the report.
No. The report only says it was stored using the most effective and shockingly inhuman method possible.
If you can think of a better phrase, we're all ears.
The report isn't wrong, you know. In fact, that might actually be the most accurate way of describing it. It's precise, and it's also kinda poetic, you know.
Wow, Simon. We never would have taken you for a poet.
Right?
You two think this is a joke? Lise Clarkson's body was discovered in that cold storage warehouse. After 14 long years. If you'd only done a proper investigation, we probably would have found her much sooner. That poor girl.
We still regret the fact that we never got to meet her. We're sorry, from the bottom.
I only hope it didn't happen that way by design.
Will you comfort me? Thank you, my fairy.
I knew it wouldn't go that easily. Maybe I should try asking my questions in a different way. I could use Agent Jones here. That's the window that faces the street out front. I can tell just from the layout of his furniture. Now I'm surrounded by everything I couldn't see out there. Films teach us all we need to know? That's ridiculous. I'd rather read a book than watch a stupid movie.
Ouais. C'est plus ou moins la même chose. Hein. C'est c'est une œuvre où on raconte quelque chose, quoi. Donc, c'est juste une façon différente de la transmettre, quoi. Comme un jeu vidéo, d'ailleurs.
Agent Jones is completely checked out. Despite the fact that we're heading deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole here.
It's bugging you, isn't it, Aaliyah?
Huh? What?
I get it. It's bugging me too. It's even got my heart racing a little. I mean, look at this. Nothing but DVDs. Not a single Blu-ray in sight, just pure, unadulterated DVDs. And he's got VHS tapes, too. I don't even have a VHS player in my house anymore.
Le nom du film à droite, là. Spaceballs.
Whoa! Look at this. Check it out.
Bah voilà.
This one's got a lot of pizza in it, remember?
You're not wrong, Simon. There's a very large quantity of pizza in that film. 1987, directed by Mel Brooks. The version on that tape is the one we recorded back when you could catch it on cable TV.
Seriously? Damn, Morgan, that's incredible. You're really living the dream, man.
I hope you both haven't forgotten that this conversation is also being recorded. This is a nice building. Layout isn't bad either. Whew. Must be rather expensive to rent a place like this in Boston. How many other rooms are there in this apartment? That room over there, your bedroom?
Huh. Why so curious, Belle? It almost sounds as if you're seeing this place for the first time. Aside from the hardware shop on the first floor, every apartment in this building has the exact same. We're well aware that you studied the layout of this apartment before you came to see us. There's no need to act so roundabout. Just be honest. Say it. I want to see your bedroom.
Well then.
Doesn't mean we'll let you see it, though.
Agent Jones. Are you paying attention? Or do you intend to waste Mr. Morgan's precious time?
No. Sorry. I'm just a little tired. I'm listening.
Take your hand out of your pocket. Didn't they teach you any manners at Quantico?
Oh, right. Guess they slipped my mind. My bad. I'm actually kinda nervous. I'm not used to this sort of thing. Data analysis is my specialty, you know. I'm sure I'd be able to calm down a bit if I had some pizza, though.
The FBI needs to do something about their lack of personnel. I'll have to ask the questions myself. But how should I start? Maybe I should look back over the files and calmly reassess the situation. So far, everything checks out with the report. But there were always some parts of the report that didn't make sense. He expects me to believe he just happened to solve a case this difficult while he was on vacation? And metaphysical offender profiling? I won't let him distract me with his fancy made-up words. After after you arrested Galena Clarkson, you had a run-in with the Clarksons. At least that's what it says in the report. What exactly happened there?
Just a simple run-in, that's all. Nothing but a single phenomenon. Chasing hollow instances like that won't lead you closer to the truth. Truth doesn't work like that.
A hollow phenomenon, which resulted in a mountain of corpses.
Oh, Belle. We think we finally understand what you're trying to say. But don't be so voracious. How about another cup of coffee? We've still got a long way to go, you know. Yes, it's coarsely ground, so there should only be 4 teaspoons per cup. No more, no less. Next, the coffee travels from the funnel to the siphon. Simon, normally you only do surveillance in order to gather data, correct? Hiding microphones and cameras, sifting through garbage, wiretapping, shadowing. You'll do whatever it takes to gather data in order to prevent crimes. That's how the FBI works.
Well, yeah, you're right. No reason in hiding it now, I guess. Why do you ask?
Our Southern Belle has adopted a very peculiar MO. It's almost like she has a special power, just like us. You've been watching us this entire time, haven't you, Belle? From that window.
I don't need to answer that question.
You came here on New Year's Eve, then spent 49 hours watching us until you returned to your hotel room last night. You observed us the entire time without sleep or rest. And you only ate once, some pizza delivered by Simon. Aside from that, you never drank any water or relieved yourself. You simply sat there and continued to watch us. You have visions, too, don't you? You came here solely to hear us talk, didn't you? But then, why bother watching us for over 2 days beforehand? You didn't come to talk with us. You came because you wanted to see this apartment with your own eye, and because you're already convinced of something. Isn't that right? He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
But I...
Oh, coffee. Thank you, my fairy. If you hadn't been paying attention, this coffee would have all gone to waste. The pus in our brains, it really has a way of interfering with our lives. Didn't remember. She came along. No, what's... Coffee. Yes, coffee.
Il est bien barjot quand même.
This is friggin' delicious. I thought I was gonna shit myself for a second there. Come on, Aaliyah, take a sip. Trust me. I'm not exaggerating here.
I don't believe it. It's better than any coffee I've ever tasted.
Of course it is. Coffee is a sacred drink. Coffee saved us. If not for its oracle, we would be on the other side right now. So I never forget to pay my respects to coffee, especially at critical moments like this.
Big black cumulonimbus clouds are in the sky. And that sound. Thunder snow is coming. Ominous. It's almost like a manifestation of the atmosphere in this room right now. If he actually had a hand in this, it would explain why Lisa's body was left frozen for all that time. The body wasn't stolen. It wasn't that he couldn't find it. It's definitely a possibility. Does Agent Jones need pizza in order to calm down? Why does he hate being out in the field so much? He knows we need to be on our absolute guard against this guy. Why can't he just pull it together? Do you hear that thunder? It's probably gonna snow soon.
We're in Massachusetts. That's the norm for this time of year.
Well, I'm not used to the cold. If possible, I'd like to finish this up before we get stuck in a snowstorm. Agent Jones, after we're done here, Agent Jones, is something the matter? Snap out of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know.
Do you? Then stop daydreaming.
Okay.
You just what?
My stomach's been letting some thunder loose, too.
Thunder?
That coffee was just...
It what? We don't have all day here.
The coffee was just so good, it, summoned forth a massive tsunami from within me.
Excuse me? What is wrong with you? Now is really not the time for this.
Right door at the end of the hallway.
Thanks, pal. Hold on. You can make it. We can do this. It's not very far.
We promise you, we did not put laxatives in the coffee. Coffee is a sacred drink, remember?
Motherfucker. There's no doubt that the report omitted information linking Morgan to the Clarksons. I need to get him to confess. There's a secret weapon in Agent Jones's briefcase. Agent Jones probably won't be back for... Actually, now might be my opportunity to make some real progress. Have you ever seen this before? And please, don't say no.
Sang Rouge, the drug we once chased. What about it?
Sang Rouge is still circulating. It's changed shape and its composition is slightly different now. But only in a very limited part of Louisiana. You aren't surprised? Did you somehow know this would happen?
Copies of another drug being circulated isn't exactly a rare case.
But Sang Rouge is special. The inimitable Enigma powder, the origin. It has many names, and no one was ever able to copy it. We've also been trying to figure out what it's made from ever since it appeared, but it's impossible to analyze. After all, it appears to be made from common ingredients that can be found anywhere. But if you try to use those ingredients, all you'll end up with is a mundane hallucinogen like DMT. No. Sang Rouge requires a special recipe. The original recipe, which someone's been guarding this entire time. Someone who survived the incident in Le Carré. He's chain smoking it non-stop. He's clearly dependent on it, which means he might be dependent on other drugs as well. He read these over and over again, like a prisoner rereading letters from his loved ones. But the last letter was delivered years ago, according to this postmark. That must be the last time he communicated with whoever was sending these. Yet, he left them out in plain sight all this time. Mr. Morgan, I heard that you were always a smoker. Did you ever wonder if that was the reason you contracted your illness?
What does that have to do with this case?
Nothing. I'm just personally curious about it.
Sometimes, people die in car accidents, regardless of how well they take care of their health. Other times, they slip on their bathroom floors and crack open their heads. Isn't that right, my fairy?
I'm not concerned with statistics. I'm just curious about you. Right here, right...
We switched over from nicotine to this. It's less addictive. That's one step in the right direction, isn't it?
Perhaps. If we're talking about withdrawal symptoms or physical dependencies. But it still seems like you're smoking too much at once. Honestly, it looks to me like you have a mental dependency.
Maybe. But so what if we do?
Surely you know about gateway drugs, yes? When a person starts to use one drug, it becomes much easier for them to branch out and try other drugs as well. The first drug acts as the gateway that leads them to stronger substances.
Oh. Are you trying to say that's going to happen to us?
No. I'm simply saying there's a possibility. Immediately after they found Lisa's body, I went to go see Patricia. In order to interrogate her, of course.
So you told us.
But I was unable to meet with her.
She refused to speak with you, didn't she? That's so like her.
No, she didn't get the chance to. You see, she's gone missing.
What?
Je crois qu'il va pas
To
apprécier.
put it more accurately, no one's seen her since the afternoon of the 28th. According to her employees, she shut herself up in her room for several months before she disappeared. But since that sort of thing happened often, they didn't think anything of it. On the morning of New Year's Eve, they noticed her window was open, and when they went up to check on her, she was gone. But no one knows how long her window had been open for. This is just my hypothesis, but on December 28th, a strange man visited Le Carré and was spotted near her mansion. That man must have found some way to lure Patricia into his car, the '89 Cadillac that he bought used. Then, the two of them drove north to Trenton, where they boarded a train to Boston. They would have arrived here around midnight on the 29th, or perhaps early morning on the 30th. I believe this man is the same Billy Bishop whose name was previously recorded by the airline. So, what do you think of my guess? I'd love to hear your opinion as a former FBI special agent.
Now we get it. We aren't persons of interest. We're the suspects. But what about our alibi?
What alibi?
I've had enough of your bullshit. You expect me to believe you haven't taken a single step out of this room? That Agent Jones is your witness? Surveillance cameras can easily be tampered with, especially by someone like you, who knows all about how the FBI works.
You're possessed by death. Go and take a look at your own face in the mirror. You look like the Grim Reaper. After you visited both Le Carré and Greenvale, you left a mountain of corpses in your wake. You can make all the excuses you want. I'm immune to them. Right here, right now, I want to know everything. You tell me the truth.
Yes! You're good, Belle. Damn good. You're brimming with potential. Don't you think she's the perfect partner for our last dance? What do you say, my fairy? Don't you agree? She's good. So good. What do you want to know? We've got nothing to hide. Go on. Question us. This is how it's got to be. Doesn't this remind you of something? You know what I mean, my fairy?
Patricia a donc disparu.
Son of a... How did this happen in my town? God damn it!
The head and limbs were severed and lined up, according to the lines that were drawn with her blood. Just like migratory birds flying systematically across the sky. Hey, Zach, what do you think this means?
They're severed roots.
Severed roots?
This is the way the Clarksons kill someone when they want to cut him off from the family.
And how do you know about this?
Everyone in town knows about it. They're just too scared to talk.
What does the V stand for, then?
Beats me. What, you think I know everything now?
Vilitatio. It means quarrel in Latin. That's what the V stands for.
Latin. Intriguing, isn't it, Zach? There are no defense wounds on the corpse. In other words, Galena showed no signs of resistance when she was amputated. But, strangely enough, there are small traces of subcutaneous bleeding around the wounded areas. That's a vital reaction, which means she couldn't have been dead.
You mean...
Yes, that's right, Patty. Galena was amputated while she was still alive, and she never resisted.
C'est charmant, tout
Is
ça.
that even possible?
It certainly isn't impossible.
C'est charmant, tout ça.
For example, if she was put to sleep with a drug, or if she desired the amputation herself.
Why would she ever desire that?
Mr. York, I'm sorry, but there ain't no way that could have happened.
How can you be sure of that, Melvin? Our world contains phenomena that could never be explained with logic. This is especially true for phenomena in which humans are involved. Do you really think all the facets of love and hate can be explained with logic?
Well, no, I don't reckon I do. Yeah, might be too early to rule out those possibilities, just like you say.
Zach, now we truly know just how deeply the Clarksons are involved with this. Patty, how long does it take to reach the Clarkson estate?
Just a short drive. You just gotta head west along the Mississippi. You can't miss it.
Got it. Thank you, Patty. By the way, Melvin, No matter how accelerated Patty may be, don't you think she's still a bit too young to see something like this? For the record,
ouais.
I have no intent to instruct others on how to raise their children, but...
Holy moly, you're right! Patricia, CLG! Come on, sweetie. Kids shouldn't have to see stuff like this.
Daddy, it's too late now.
Bon allez, c'est reparti. De retour en 2005. On va prendre la première enquête. Je peux pas passer en dessous du coup. Je ferais bien aller voir le corps, mais...
You sure you...
I'm fine. Besides, I'm used to seeing stuff like that on CSI. You're the one who looks pale, Daddy.
Well, it did shake me up a little. But I'll be back to normal in no time. Sorry about that, Mr. York. What say we rest in the interrogation room till we all calm down, CL?
Sure thing, Daddy. I'm gonna go sit with Daddy for a bit, Agent York. We can join back up later.
Galena killed her daughter, so her family cut ties with her. Do you really think that's what happened here, Zach? If this is truly the ritual that the Clarksons use to cut ties with someone, why would they go out of their way to do it here, in a holding cell? They could have easily done it after we released her. And judging from how Danny Clarkson was acting, I think it's clear that he really loved Galena. How could he accept this grotesque butchering, even if it was for the sake of the family? There's no point in ruminating on this. We should get back to the investigation. As long as we keep moving, the answer will inevitably fling itself straight at us.
Bon, alors la quête Galena, le témoin clé de notre affaire, s'est fait tuer dans la prison du poste de police de Le Carré. Ce meurtre semble-t-il lié au Clarkson. Ouais. Objectif, entrer dans le poste de police. Voilà, super. Alors... Ah oui, je voulais diminuer le son des pas en fait. Je me suis rendu compte dans les enregistrements que les comment dire, les bruits sonores sont un peu forts. Surtout le skate. Général, ça va être... Ouais, effet sonore. Mais c'est on verra comment ça se passe. Bah non. J'ai pas vu. Voilà. Bon, allez. Ah, nouvel oracle.
You found the flying serpent. But now, the flying serpent will come to find you.
Yeah, that sounds right. And it looks like this flying serpent is a venomous one.
Some become feasts, while others are eaten alive. Which fate would you prefer?
Both sound marvelous, but let me check with Zach.
A fine answer. Find the one who fired the pistol at heaven. Within the white hall of beds, brandish the ticket to the goddess. And once again, you will see the other world. Do you comprehend the oracle?
Zack, it looks like he's hell-bent on leading us back into that other world.
Follow the oracle.
Oh, I will, Hungan. There are only two types of things in our world. Things that should be resisted and things that should be accepted. And I believe this oracle is something to accept. Do you think we're crazy for believing everything that skeletal gentleman says? No, we're not crazy. Not one bit. This is our destiny, but I shouldn't need to explain that to you, Zack. The one who fired the pistol at heaven. Firing pistols at the sky might be a rather common occurrence for the South. Remember? Young Guns, 1988, directed by Christopher Kane. There's that great scene where Emilio Estevez keeps firing his Colt M1877 up at the sky. Oh, but that film took place in New Mexico, didn't it? And the Oracle probably isn't referring to a situation like that. It's got to be for some purpose other than an attack or a threat. Raising a bingo, Zack. We're currently running a race here. And the one who started this murder investigation is indeed the one who fired. In other words, the person who first discovered the body. According to the files, Lisa's body was discovered by Chuck Thompson, a crawfish farmer. He apparently works out of a fishing hut located in the marshes south of the bayou. Let's go pay him a visit. Who knows? We might even get to see some crawfish. What? Why isn't the murderer the one who started this race? Zack, this isn't like you. Of course the murderer isn't the one who started. The murderer's running it. They're currently in first place, and they're breaking all the rules. Any more objections, Zack? Within the White Hall of Beds. This one is even easier. There are only a few establishments that have a whole hall's worth of beds, especially in a small town like this. I'm sure you've already got a pretty good idea about what the answer is, Zack.
Ouais, un hôpital, quoi.
Beds all lined up. Only an amateur would hear that and think it must be referring to a brothel. I mean, come on. Who would ever use White Hall as a symbol for a bordello? No, a white house refers to the same place no matter what country you're in. Disinfectant, jars of medicine, and white smocks. That's right. It's a place where people dress in all white. And this town doesn't have any labs in it, which means there can only be one answer.
Le restaurant, le poste de police, qui est des avocats, machin. Bah oui, il n'y a pas d'hôtel, il n'y a pas d'hôpital. C'est où? Où est-ce que ça peut être? Ah, peut-être le truc désaffecté. Des bâtiments désaffectés, ça peut être ça. Hein.
You really think that's a White Hall? Sorry, but I have to disagree.
Ouais,
There's a more obvious answer out there. A place that anyone would think of when they hear the words White Hall. Beds all lined up. Only an amateur would hear that and think it must be referring to a brothel. I mean, come on. Who would ever use White Hall as a symbol for a bordello? No, a white house refers to the same place no matter what country you're in. You really think that's a white house? Sorry, but I have to... There's a more obvious place that anyone...
Je vois bien que c'est un hôpital, la solution,
who would ever
mais
use White
elle
Hall
est
as
où?
a symbol for a bordello?
Il
No,
est
a
où,
white
l'hôpital?
house refers to the same place no matter what country you're in.
On va pas me dire que c'est ça.
You really think
non.
that's... Sorry, but there's a more obvious... A place that...
Mais reste
Disinfectant.
l'église.
Jars of medicine. You never disappoint
foutez
me,
de moi.
Zack.
Il y a quoi? Il y a, dans une église évangélique, il y a un hôpital?
It's a medical
le truc?
facility.
D'accord, une clinique. Ok.
They invite their patients into rooms full of beds where they're tended to by... It's definitely a white hall where people are... You always manage to impress me with your intuition.
Toi, super.
I'm really counting on you here, Zach. And I know I'll always be...
Agent York, you're trying to leave without your trustworthy assistant?
Non.
Hello there, Patty. I'd never attempt such a thing. I was simply engaging in a battle of wits with Hoongan while I waited for you.
Hoongan?
Yes, the skeletal
Attendez 2
gentleman in
secondes,
the top
j'ai
hat.
un message sur le PC en fait. Ouais. Désolé, je sais pas, il y avait un message sur la page de YouTube. Je sais pas, il y a peut-être eu une baisse de bande passante.
Not that story again. Is this how you always conduct your investigations?
This is the way I work.
I bet you can't find a single partner, not even in the entire FBI.
That's not true. I always work together with Zach.
Oh, right. Zach. Don't worry. I'll be your partner while you're here in our town. Now, let's go investigate.
On va regarder les quêtes libres avant de quitter. Qui propose. Oh, bah ça c'est facile. Tu as un alligator. Moi je sais où les trouver. Puis détruire les ovnis, ça se fait. J'arrive pas à monter et descendre. Bizarre. Personne avec qui parler. Bon, ben on est parti. Oui, j'en profite pour vous dire, demain soir, je serai pas là. Voilà. Donc, même si vous regardez pas les directs, moi, les let's play en direct, je pense pas que j'aurai demain, donc je referai une session après-demain. Puis après, vendredi, il y a Ghost of Tsushima qui arrive. Donc après, je pense que je switcherai dessus pour le week-end. Après, voilà, des Premonition, moi j'aime bien, quoi. C'est surtout l'enquête, etc. C'est bien construit, je trouve. Mais ça prend du temps, quoi. C'est beaucoup de dialogue. Voilà. Le père Clarkson.
How's your mama?
Eh ben. Et l'autre avec son bras en moins.
You're that hotshot FBI agent I keep hearing about.
And who might you be?
I came to claim the body of my daughter. My daughter, who was murdered in a holding cell after you detained her yesterday.
Zach, I wasn't expecting to run into the final boss this early. You must be the head of the Clarkson family, P.J. Clarkson. And you've come to claim the body of Galena Clarkson, whose dismembered corpse was found early this morning. Is that correct? Where did you learn that Galena had been murdered? Zach and I just learned of the news ourselves.
This is Luke Corey. And I am P.J. Clarkson. There ain't a single thing I don't know about this town.
I see. So then you must also know about the Severed Roots ritual. I have a question for you, Philip. We suspect that Galena was murdered by someone from the Clarkson family. Have you given that possibility any consideration?
Listen up, you FBI piece of shit. You better watch your manners around my pa.
Shut up, Daniel.
But, sir... My bad, sir.
I'll have you know I once had 3 children. But I must not have raised them very well, because my son and my eldest daughter both ran away and never came back to me. The only one who stayed by my side was my second daughter, Galena. Then she done married Daniel here into the family and presented me with both an heir and a granddaughter. Seemed for a while as if things were finally starting to calm down. But then, someone corrupted both Galena and Lise. And I lost everything. Aside from my shit-heel son-in-law, that is. You understand me, FBI?
Galena's death is nothing but a loss for the Clarkson family.
That doesn't mean the Clarksons are automatically innocent, though. Humans don't always act out of self-interest, do they?
That mouth. You're starting to sound more and more like your mother. We're leaving, Daniel.
What? But my treasure...
Now, whether you end up being an angel or a demon, I reckon you're the man I've been waiting for all this time. Once you finish that autopsy, and we're clear to take her home, I want you to give me a call.
They're phenomenal, Patty. So perfectly rural. Ominous statements, foul-mouthed insults. This town possesses a complicated system of communication that you just can't find in the city. Work-centric emails are so cold and lifeless. This is what true human connections feel like. Connections as visceral as blood itself.
So, Agent York, what's next on your agenda?
The last boss may have gotten the jump on us, Patty, but I didn't let him shake my resolve. I intend to obey the skeletal gentleman's oracles, and that's that. First, we should head to either the home of the person who discovered Lisa's body or to the town's medical facility. Well, Zach, what do you think?
À moi de dessiner. Alors, sortie du commissariat. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres trucs qui sont verts? Je sais pas si c'est activé ça du coup. On va bien les voir. Je vais parler à Patricia.
It really seemed like you knew who Galena Clarkson was.
Well, I've never actually talked to her, but it's a small town. Pretty much all folks know who the Clarksons are. And Galena's supposed to be extra...
Ah merde. Je pensais qu'elle pouvait continuer à parler pendant que je faisais du skate. On est obligé de marcher.
You didn't even twitch when you saw Galena's body.
Why would I? Dead things can't hurt us, right?
Girls your age don't usually think that way.
Do you have kids, Agent York?
No, I don't. I'm not married either.
Then you have no idea how girls my age usually think. Besides, I'm used to seeing dead bodies thanks to CSI. Especially dismembered corpses like hers. You know, for a so-called profiling professional, you're pretty clueless.
In that case, allow me to apologize. But don't you think it's a bit of a leap to discount my observational abilities simply because corpses don't scare you?
I don't know. I mean, you're completely wrong.
Do you know what I was thinking back there then?
Of course not. I'm not a pro.
The same goes for me, Patty. No manner of pro could ever know 100% of what another person is thinking. Unless, of course, that pro has a mental connection with them, like Zach and I have. If I was telepathic, I wouldn't have joined the FBI. I would have taken over a small country or become a messiah.
Now who's making crazy leaps?
I will admit, though, Patty, I feel like you and I have something in common. We definitely have similarities, even though they aren't as strong as the ones that Zach and I share.
Whatever.
Perhaps you and I grew up under similar circumstances. We're both unique cases.
Huh? Unique cases?
In your case, your beautiful mother's second husband became your daddy. But then your mama got sick, forcing you to take care of things, while you used CSI as your escape.
Would you just knock it off? I ain't trying to act like some tragic heroine here. And I don't care that my daddy isn't the same color as me. You're way more narrow-minded than I took you for, Agent York.
Narrow-minded? You're just realizing this now? Of course I'm narrow-minded. I'm a selfish man who lives life according to his own rules, with no interest in common sense. Naturally, this makes me terrible at reading situations, and I often end up angering people by total accident. But is it really that big of a problem? I've still made a contribution to society by solving numerous difficult cases, and I'm still terribly charming.
Ah ok, faut les activer en fait. Je me demandais pourquoi j'en avais croisé certains et qu'ils n'étaient pas apparus sur la carte. Peut-être parce qu'il faut les activer. Pas elle là du coup. On va directement chez elle.
What else have you seen on that sci-fi movie channel?
Agent York, why are you asking me that?
Discussing movies is one of the most basic forms of communication in our country.
What?
Looks like a case of bad timing. Let's come back later.
Ah, du coup, on peut pas améliorer le skate quoi. C'est pas encore tout de suite. Bon, du coup. Ah oui, on l'a vu ça. Ouais, c'est chez l'ancienne là, avec ses quilles de bowling. Non, c'est pas le bon bouton. J'aimerais Et aller voir le mec dans le bayou. Le mec qui apparaît comme ça d'un coup.
Do you think about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that blinding light, they realize there's nothing but vanity and lust surrounding them. They finally figure out that it was all in their heads. Then they quickly try to satisfy themselves with something else. Drugs. And drugs are the gateway to a whole pantheon of crime. Zach, remember what you told me once? The women who turn to crime aren't the evil ones. The drugs aren't evil either. They're nothing but chemicals. The ones who feed off those women and use them. They're the ones to hate. Let's go, Zach. We need to find the person who's hiding behind Galena and drag them out into the blazing southern sun.
Est-ce qu'il va réussir à sauter? Attention.
If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging.
Et voilà. On dirait qu'on peut l'ouvrir. Ah. Chaque fois le bouton. Ouais, c'est par là qu'il faut passer en fait.
Okay, Zach. It's time to put our skills to the test.
Ah bah flûte alors. Ah c'est pour ça, là on va devoir aller le réparer. Moi je pense.
Well, Zach, it seems as if we've reached an impasse. I'm afraid we won't be able to proceed any further like this.
Zakari Tiger to DC Eagle? Is everything all right?
Hello, Melvin. Sadly, my darling just gave out on me.
Mon bébé. N'importe quoi.
Your darling?
Yes, that's right. My beloved skateboard. I know the chances are slim, but do you happen to know of any establishments in town that can repair skateboards? Please, I hope this doesn't offend you. Neither Zach nor I would ever dare to assume that a remote country town like this would have a skateboard shop in it. But perhaps you have at least one eccentric who likes to tinker with them in their spare time.
I know just the person. Double bass player by night, trick master by day. God blessed her with 2 talents, and her name is Emma Sanders.
Emma?
That's right. She's Pastor Sanders' adopted daughter, and was also Lise Clarkson's best friend. Emma really knows her stuff. She's got tools and a mountain of parts, so I'm sure she'll be able to help.
I owe you one, Melvin. Zach, I never thought we'd find our very own skateboard mentor out here in the sticks. Let's head straight to Emma. What is it, Zach? Why didn't I just ask the sheriff to tow away the old cars?
Bah ouais, tant qu'à faire.
But isn't it obvious? I want to overcome this obstacle using my own strength. In fact, I want to soar over it.
Bon, bah, retour à la case départ. Je vais retourner le voir. Ah, mais oui, le skate, il est mort, c'est vrai. Je voulais l'utiliser. Il y aurait pas un ballon dans le coin. Comme ça, je disais à l'autre de venir me récupérer. Bah, si, il y a là. On va faire ça. Ah. Pourquoi on veut lui parler à lui? Est-ce qu'il aurait une quête annexe? Ah, mais c'est l'autre. D'accord. Putain, elle a perdu son bras, quoi.
You again?
Ça, c'est fait. Ouais, une nouvelle quête du coup. Voilà. Trouver le souvenir de Galena.
Hey, Patty.
Des indices.
You.
Hey, Let's shout something out loud.
Donc l'endroit où il a perdu son bras. Ouais, c'est dans la propriété des Clarkson. Mais elle est où? Là où c'est la plantation. Ouais, ça doit être là. Ça doit être ça, je pense, la résidence des Clarkson. On va le voir, c'est juste à côté. Ah non, ça a plus l'air d'être le cimetière au final. Ouais, ça ressemble à un cimetière ça. Il n'y a pas de ballon là. Oh, merde. Non, pas de ballon. Ouais, les écureuils. Bon bah du coup on est venu là pour rien. On va retourner à l'entrepôt frigorifique. On va utiliser un ballon. Sinon il y a celui d'en avoir un devant l'église. Ah oui, je le vois. Je le vois sur le trottoir. Ça me permettra de l'activer. Comme ça, je pourrai revenir direct là. Parfait. Voyons si c'est rapide. Ah oui, ça va. Effectivement, il va falloir l'utiliser souvent, je pense.
Hey, Agent York. I feel like someone's in there. Let's go and see.
Huh? What do y'all want? I'm kind of busy here.
Hi there. Are you Emma?
Yeah, who are you?
Francis York Morgan. I'm an FBI special agent. Please call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Agent York? So, what does the FBI want with little old me? I already told the police everything I know about Lise.
Emma, I haven't come here to talk to you about Lise. Although I suppose it's sort of connected in a way. My darling is broken, and I need you to fix her.
You call your board your darling? I never heard that one before. All right, let me see it. I'll try and assess the damage. I replaced all your trucks, wheels, and gave you some brand new deck tape. Also, you were missing a tail guard, so I put one on for you. That way you should be able to do a few tricks here and there without any risk of damage.
Ah bah voilà. Si on peut faire des tricks avec plus drôle déjà.
It's beautiful, Emma.
The wheels were scraped down and the base plate screws were all about to fall out. Oh, and the axles were also warped. It was pretty much in critical condition. Now, what I want to know is, how did it get that way?
Well, my car was stolen on my way here from Houston. So, I switched over to my darling and rode her here instead.
You know, you're crazier than you look.
Emma, would you mind answering another crazy question for me? I want to use this board to soar, literally. Would you mind teaching me a trick that would allow me to do so?
You mean you want to do a wally? Ooh, well, I'd be happy to teach you how, but it's too cramped in here. Oh, I know where we should go. You want to learn too? You sure? Seems like you're interested. Whatever. I know you're just gonna come along anyway. So you should at least learn the basics. Okay, Agent York. Now we should have enough room to practice. I'll show you how it's done first, then you just practice till you learn how to do it, okay?
Pareil, il fait des points de jump. Je le fais le rapport, il me semble. Allez. Ah. Flûte. Terrible, hein. Un peu de mal quand même. 11, non? Ça. Ouais, ce qui me semblait quand même que j'ai pas eu l'or. Pas déconner.
That was perfect!
Yeah.
Merci.
Thank you, Emma. I only learned that new trick thanks to your guidance. Now I'm sure that Zack and I will be able to reach our destination without any trouble at all. Thank you for assisting in the investigation.
Glad to be of service. If your board breaks again, or you feel like customizing it a bit more, just stop on by my workshop. I'm pretty much always there during the day. I'm also taking some time off school because of what happened with Lise. Skating and playing music are the only things that help me escape the pain of losing her.
Zack, did you see the expression on her face just now? She works hard to act cheerful, but she's yet another person who was hurt by the tragedy. Lisa's death is like wildfire, spreading embers of sadness throughout the entire town.
De l'encens. Quelle est l'utilité? La force de l'amour. Mais où est cette quête? C'est lequel qu'on vient de faire, celui-là? Je vais essayer de l'avoir en or. Il y a un ballon là. Suite mieux quand on connaît pourquoi. Hop. On va éviter de taper le mur. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Pas eu l'or, vous êtes sérieux? Il va falloir il faut encore plus vite. Eh ben, on va retenter un coup. On va falloir faire moins de 4 minutes. Bah non. Si. Ah mais les points ils s'accumulent. que c'est un parcours ça aussi. Non, ça n'a pas l'air. Bon, alors il parlait d'une quête là. Pourquoi j'arrive pas à descendre? Ça bug ou quoi? Je comprends pas là. Là il doit y avoir un bug. Du coup faut aller dans la chambre rouge. Ici on devrait pas retrouver les quêtes, journal. Bah, c'est pareil, on peut pas descendre. Il n'y a aucun bouton qui marche. C'est ballot ça. Ah bah ouais. Ah là ça marche ici. Mais je vais aller celui-là. Ah oui, ok. Mais oui, il n'y a pas moyen là. J'appuie sur tous les boutons, mais il n'y a rien qui se passe. Essayer un truc. Non, il n'y a rien qui se passe. Bon bah c'est bien, ça commence à bugger déjà. Ouais bah du coup on va aller là-bas. Hein. Je vais me faire déposer ici. On est juste à côté. Voilà.
Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zach, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I bet that scene reminded you of a certain film, or perhaps a certain person. Violent City, 1970, directed by Sergio Salimi. I only ever saw it on TV when I was a kid, so I don't remember it very well. But I definitely remember that it featured a bridge, a long bridge, during the New Orleans part. That's the one thing I remember. That bridge must have been the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. And the film starred Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him.
C'est quoi tous ces loups?
Hey, Agent York, are you sure you really want to talk to this guy? He kind of scares me.
Hattie, there's no need to worry. Just hide behind me and you'll be fine.
Chuck Thompson, you were the first person to find Lisa's body, correct? I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Agent York. Seems like he ain't in the mood for talking.
Chuck Thompson, may I have a word with you? I'm looking for the one who fired the pistol at Heaven.
You trying to say I gotta aim up to shoot 'cause of my height?
C'est quoi ce perso?
Not at all.
Avec des poils dans le nez et
I was
dans les
merely
oreilles.
quoting the skeletal gentleman's oracle.
Skeletal gentleman? You ain't making a lick of sense. What do you all want anyway? What do y'all come here to waste my precious time for?
I'm currently running a race around town thanks to you, who fired the starting shot. The murderer and I are competing to see who can cross the finish line first. Unfortunately, the murderer got a generous head start on me. If he gets away from me, I'll lose. But if I can catch up to him, then I'm sure I'll win. So please, Chuck, tell me, how did you find Lisa's body? Her body was hidden under a bridge on the bayou, very close to the Mississippi River. It's got to be at least a few miles away from your farm in this swamp, right?
Oh, the Clarksons are the folks who gave me the damn permission to farm crawdaddies here in the first place. Now, why the hell would I ever want to kill that little girl?
Then what were you doing out there?
You know, lately I've been seeing a queer boat around these parts. Ain't too big. Probably only holds 5 or 6, and it's got a deep draft. Assholes think they can just drive right through my turf, right through my dang crawdad farm.
So you gave chase, which led you to Lisa's body.
Yeah, that's right. Fucking poachers.
Where did the poachers go?
Oh, hell if I know. Fog was thick that day, thicker than usual. So I lose sight of them. The next thing I know, I'm under that goddamn bridge. Then I felt a chill run up my spine. And I knew. So I drove up to the bank and got out. And there she was, strung up on that there altar.
Did you know Lise personally?
Yeah, I knew her a little. She never showed me no disrespect, unlike the rest of those damn Clarksons. They so rotten I can smell it from here, same as the shit at the bottom of this here swamp. Heavy, heavy. Yeah. There was a little better when their boy Lenny was still around.
Lenny?
Yeah, Leonard, PJ's son. He never showed me no disrespect neither. And he's the one who gave me permission to farm here. But, well, ever since he left home, his whole family's gone straight down the shitter. Lisa was the only decent one left. She was wise, just like Lenny. Ain't right, I tell you. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Now I'm done talking, goddammit. Now go on, get the hell out of here.
Philip mentioned something about his son leaving home. That must be Lenny. Did you know about that, Patty?
Everyone in town knows about it.
By the way, Zach, do you remember what we saw when we were skipping stones? That boat with the dragonfly crest. Zach, no matter where we go in this town, we're constantly assaulted by information related to the Clarkson family. Just where is that skeletal gentleman trying to lead us?
We successfully found the one who fired the pistol at Heaven. Now we need to visit the White Hall of Beds. You know, Zach, it almost feels like we're orienteering here. Doesn't it remind you of our training in Quantico?
Qu'est-ce qu'elle monte du doigt? La boîte aux lettres? Oui.
Hey, Agent York.
Yes?
Is that... Sorry, never mind. I think I was just seeing things.
Ah, tu vois quoi? Qu'est-ce qu'elle fait? J'essaie de lui parler, j'arrive pas. Ça là-bas. Il est où? Ah, il y a une croix là. Là, c'est au pied de l'arbre. Ouais. Racine de chêne. Et merde. Bon, du coup, on va enchaîner. Enfin, les quêtes annexes. On verra plus tard.
Hey, Agent York, just so you know, dealing with Pastor Sanders is gonna be a
big pain in the butt?
That's what I said. But I guess you have no choice but to obey your oracle, huh? I don't like hospitals.
Why not?
They soup folks up with medicine, cut 'em up, and then they try and act like they're your friends. Something ain't right about that, you know. It goes against the laws of nature. Plus, this is a church. So you got a pastor, a servant of God, actually playing God with his patients.
I think you have a point there, Patty. These days, we can neither determine death nor reproduce without the help of modern medicine. Yeah, our world's become quite an unnatural one. Oh, Excuse me?
This is Lucare. You need to watch where you're going, or someone might end up tripping you.
Ça, c'est la nana du bar de jazz.
Zach, it's her. The stylish woman who watched Lise die.
Exactement.
I've been waiting for you, lost lamb.
Hi there, Pastor. Would you mind letting go of me? I'm in a bit of a hurry right now.
So pitiful. The Lord hungers.
Here we go again.
What?
Pitiful. Truly pitiful, my little lamb.
No, neither Zach nor I...
Oh, so pitiful. So pitiful, just pitiful. The Lord hungers. 1 can of Spam, 1 can of red beans, and 1 can of spinach. You are to offer up the taboo trinity.
Taboo? Don't you mean the holy...
Oh, how I pity you. Unlike us humans, the Lord never errs. Now, my pitiful agent, bring forth the taboo trinity at once. For it is the will of the Lord our God.
See? I told you this was gonna be a pain in the butt.
But Zach and I need to go after that stylish woman.
Too late now. We need to obey God's will.
The Lord hungers!
Come on, hurry it up. We need to go.
Well, Zach, I don't know what to say. First an oracle, and now an order from God. Maybe this is the trial that will yield the ticket to the goddess. Either way, it looks like we have no choice but to gather the taboo trinity. I guess it just goes to show that small towns are always filled with the bizarre and unpredictable.
Il est où?
1 can of Spam, 1 can of red beans, and 1 can of spinach. You are to bring forth the taboo trinity, for it is an offering to the Lord.
Hey, Tyrone.
1 can of Spam, 1 can... The Lord hungers!
I suppose that even an FBI badge is powerless in the face of God. It's no use, Zach. We'll just have to go out and assemble the taboo trinity.
Juste vite fait regarder s'il y a pas quelque chose ou quelqu'un. Bon, c'est où du coup? peut-être y aller en skate. 400 mètres, 200, c'est drôle. Ils sont superposés l'un sur l'autre.
Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. The TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, America... Do you carry any canned goods here?
Canned goods? The vermin of the grocery store? Nay.
Understood, Mirror. Well then, if you'll excuse me.
Wait. Yes, I can see it. I can...
How intriguing. Well then, where is the canned good I seek?
In a place where no man could ever peddle it.
I see. In a place where it can't be bought from a person.
'Twas but a trifle. For the Lord hungers, doth he not?
Zach, it's in a vending machine. It appears that God wants us to go on a wild goose chase all around town.
Thou art... Verily, much shall serve thee well.
Ah là, je peux en créer du coup. Alors... Ah mais ça bug encore. C'est quoi ce délire? Ah oui, là j'en achète plus. C'est ça? La quantité. Ah, l'encens. Mais ouais, ça bug. Il va falloir que je quitte le jeu quand j'aurai fini la session. Retourner à l'écran titre.
I can see it. Thou hast discovered the very purpose of my emporium.
Ah ouais, je regardais du coup là, par rapport au bug. Ouais, je pense pense qu'il va falloir que je retourne à l'écran titre. Il n'y a pas un téléphone. Du coup, des distributeurs. Sans le skate. On va aller au commissariat, là, comme ça on va acheter les trucs au père de Patricia. Perso qui chante. Ouais, il fredonne l'hymne américain, apparemment. Commissariat.
Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why?
Okay, hold on. Mr. York. Spam, huh? You a pot of...
No, Melvin. I've simply gotten myself tangled up in a little mess.
Oh, I get it. Mr. York. The Lord hungers, right?
Yes, apparently the Lord is starving, and I'm a lamb with no sense of direction.
Ouais, je quitterai, je retourne à l'écran titre à la fin, quand j'aurai fini ma session. Parce que j'ai pas envie de quitter, si je quitte et que je reviens, ça va encore me taper des temps de chargement. Si on peut éviter.
Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were a mess. All busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of
places. C'est un peu encore le son là, du skate, il fait un vacarme. Obligé, hein. Ouais, déjà mieux là. Ouais, ça fait beaucoup de bruit ce truc. Distributeur automatique.
So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Unga. Is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of ether? Still too early to tell. But it's clear that...
Il me semblait qu'il y en avait là. Ça va être plus loin. Devant... Ah oui, sur l'intérieur de l'hôtel. Mais il y en a à l'extérieur, je crois qu'il y en a devant le resto.
Hey Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route.
Eh ben non. Après, il suffit de regarder sur la carte. Il y en a pas. Ouais, c'est dans la rue de derrière en fait. Je vais aller voir vite fait.
Hey Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. I think we've got the wrong vending machine. I think we've got the wrong vending machine.
Eh ben, s'il faut tous les faire en plus. Moi, je vais aller faire le truc là, dans le resto. Et après, je quitterai et puis j'arrêterai là, je pense. On fera le tour des distributeurs la prochaine fois.
Hey Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that.
The air out there don't feel right today. You feel it too, honey?
Ouais, mais je les ai pas trouvé tes ingrédients. Je sais pas où je peux les acheter.
Oh, coming right up, honey. I'll put my heart and soul into it.
C'est ça qu'ils veulent, non? Parce que si c'est pas ça, je vais pas pouvoir le sélectionner. Ok.
Alexis, could I have some red beans and rice?
Ah, voilà, en fait.
Oh, my Lord. Sorry, honey, but no can do. We only serve red beans and rice on Mondays. That's a meal you eat when you're busy, like folks usually are on Monday. It's been a tradition here in Louisiana for as long as I can remember. Wait, honey, don't tell me. You're the type who does your laundry every day? Oh.
Tradition, Zach. This is it. The Deep South. Louise, we need to obey tradition here and come back on Monday.
Carrément, quoi. Mais quel genre, là, dans le jeu? Mercredi. Ouais. Bon, bah, du coup, je pense que je vais arrêter là. Je vais juste faire une sauvegarde, revenir dans le restaurant, là. Retourner à l'écran titre, recharger, pour voir si ça règle le problème. Si ça règle pas le problème, je suis un peu dans la merde. Voilà. Non, c'est pas ça. Hop, écran titre. J'arrive pas à bouger. J'arrive pas à sélectionner le oui. Oui, s'il vous plaît. Non, c'est pas possible. C'est not possible. Bah merde. Bon bah je le relancerai entièrement. Je retournerai à l'écran titre de la Switch. Pas le choix. Voilà. Bon bah en tout cas, comme je pensais que le jeu n'était pas peaufiné, bah voilà l'un des exemples. L'un des nombreux exemples. Enfin bref. Bon bah sur ce, je vais vous laisser là du coup. Je vous souhaite une bonne fin de soirée. Pour ceux qui regarderont le let's play plus tard, bah, j'espère que vous avez bien apprécié. Et puis bah si vous avez apprécié, n'hésitez pas à lâcher un petit pouce ou un petit commentaire si vous voulez. Voilà. Allez, sur ce, bonne fin de soirée, journée, selon l'heure à laquelle vous regardez cette vidéo. Et puis bah on se retrouve pas demain du coup, mais mercredi normalement. Voilà. Allez, à plus, ciao.